Good evening and welcome to a meeting of the Chesapeake School Board. A printed agenda is available in the back of the room if you wish to follow the business items we'll be discussing this evening. Roll call, Dr. Smith.
Mr. Elijah Colon.
Here.
Miss Malia Huddle.
She's on the way. She's a little delayed.
Mr. Mike Lamonia.
Here.
Mr. John McCormick.
Here.
Mr. Norman Poole.
Here.
Mr. Daniel Stoller.
Here.
Mrs. Amanda Walker.
Here.
Mrs. Kim Scott, Vice Chair.
Here.
Mrs. Angie Swigert, Chair.
She is absent on vacation. The next item is the adoption of the agenda. Does the superintendent or any board member wish to add or delete an item from the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no amendments to add to the agenda, but we will need a closed session required for personnel matters and legal matters.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Poole. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Mr. Stoller. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
Thank you. We will now go into the closed portion of our meeting. I'll ask Board Member McCormick to read the language to take us into closed session.
Vice Chair Scott, I move that the board should convene in a closed session pursuant to the Code of Virginia, Section 2.2, 3711, subsections A1, A7, and A8 for discussion and consideration of personnel matters to include administrative appointments and a petition to revoke a professional teaching license and for consultation with legal counsel regarding actual and probable litigation.
Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Lamonia. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
Before we move into closed session and in accordance with Bylaw 233, we will need a motion to approve the remote participation of Sands Anderson attorney Nikki Chook, who will join us for the discussion in closed session. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Lamonia. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McCormick. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All right. All opposed? Any opposed? All right, good. Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
All right, we are now in closed session. Board Member McCormick, would you please read the statement to bring us back into open session?
Vice Chair Scott, I move that the record shows that the only items discussed in the closed meeting were those specifically cited in the motion to convene into the closed meeting and those lawfully exempted from statutory meeting requirements.
Is there a second? Second. So made by Mr. McCormick and seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
Dr. Cotton, do you have any items resulting from closed session?
Yes, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I do have one administrative appointment that will need board approval. Dr. Megan N. Wynn from teacher, Chesapeake Center for Student Success, to assistant principal, Indian River Middle School.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. So moved. Is there a second? All right, so the motion has been made by Ms. Huddle and seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
Next, I will entertain a motion regarding the superintendent's petition to revoke a professional teaching license.
Vice Chair Scott, I move that the school board accept the superintendent's recommendation and formally request the revocation of the professional license of employee 1 as discussed in closed session based on the findings presented and in accordance with applicable state laws and regulations governing teacher licensure.
Is there a second? All right, so the motion has been made by Mr. McCormick and seconded by Mr. Lamonia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
There being no further items resulting from the closed session, we will move on to the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I'd like to call upon Reverend Dr. Tommy P. Smith from Divine Baptist Church to provide tonight's invocation. Afterwards, I'll ask Board Member Mr. Poole to lead us in the pledge. Please stand as you are able.
Let us pray. Almighty God, you are our refuge and you are our strength. We are grateful for your myriad of blessings as we embark upon another academic school year. I pray for each member of this school board assembly as faithful stewards to guide our schools, to support our educators, and to nurture our students with a spirit of collaboration where excellence is the standard and not the exception. I humbly ask that you move by the power of your spirit and endow this administrative body to set the standard for others to emulate. And as always, I pray that this school board meeting be productive and respectful, so all may leave with the unity of purpose to serve the greater good. And now, as we prepare to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, we recall your goodness and request your blessings upon our nation, our elected officials, both locally and nationally, along with the men and women who defend our freedoms, including our first responder community. May your hand of blessing abide with us both now, henceforth, and throughout the school year. It is in your holy and righteous name we pray and ask these and all other blessings. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, for joining us tonight and providing the invocation. You're very appreciated. Next, there are no items under awards and recognitions, so we will move on to the hearing of citizens. Dr. Smith, do we have any citizens who have requested to speak tonight?
Yes, we do. We have one citizen requesting time.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. During their allotted time, speakers should observe our rules of decorum and know that expression of concerns and criticism on matters of school policy and operations is welcome. However, speakers must deliver their own remarks and may not play pre-recorded messages. I want to thank those speakers who signed up to address the board this evening. As a reminder, there are two ways that citizens can request time to speak at the meeting. You can call the clerk's office by 12 p.m. the day of the meeting, or sign up to speak prior to the start of the meeting. All in-person requests to speak must be submitted to the deputy clerk 5 minutes prior to the published meeting start time. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. Once your allotted time is over, we ask that you promptly exit the podium. We would also like to ask that you refrain from any behavior that disrupts the meeting, including the use of profanity, applause, cheering, or jeering. Dr. Smith, please call the first speaker.
Yes, speaker number one, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Vic Nichols, Chesapeake. I would like the board to do something in the way of letting the public know about what extra precautions they will take so that we do not have another Fairfax situation that comes about. Obviously, there were procedures in place, either they weren't followed or something happened. But we need to know that such a scandal will never touch this city again. I also ask that they specifically address the potential of the teacher being the parent involved in such a situation. Thank you.
This concludes our speakers for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols. Thank you for sharing your comments. Our practice is to receive information. However, we do not usually engage in dialogue, and that is our intent tonight. If appropriate and not already provided, someone from the superintendent's staff will evaluate your concern and provide a response. We will now consider the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion for approval. All right. Is there a second? Okay, seconded by so the motion has been made by Mr. Poole and seconded by Mr. Colon. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members present voting yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the information agenda and the preliminary accreditation results, Dr. Joppy.
Vice Chair Scott, members of the board, Dr. Cotton, and cabinet leaders. This evening, it's my pleasure to share with you brief reminders about the new performance and support framework and share an update on our current accountability status based on information currently available. As you may be aware, the Virginia Board of Education adopted a new accreditation and accountability system. This new system has split what's known as accreditation into two areas, accountability and accreditation. This significant change makes comparing this year's accountability to last year's accreditation impractical. Although school performance reflected in the updates to the school quality profiles may be similar to past year's accreditation, these measures do not impact the determination of accountability that schools will earn from this year forward. Very briefly, the old accreditation and accountability system focused primarily on student proficiency as measured by standards of learning test scores. Accreditation was largely determined by whether schools met minimum pass rates on these standardized tests. In contrast, accountability under the new performance and support framework incorporates multiple indicators such as student growth, chronic absenteeism, graduation rates, achievement gaps, and readiness for college, career, and civic life. Additionally, accreditation is a measure of the district's compliance with state and federal regulations. Because the two systems use different metrics, comparing data between them is not a true apples-to-apples comparison. What constituted success or failure under the old system may not align with how performance is measured and understood under the new framework. So as a reminder, the framework uses 4 areas of focus for elementary, middle, and high school. Each component is weighted differently to meet the focus of the school. First, there's mastery. Mastery looks at all student standards of learning assessment results. It awards additional credit for students who reach advanced levels and partial credit for students who do not yet meet grade level standards. The second component is growth. Growth takes into account a student's past performance on SOL tests. Using a student's SOL performance from the prior and current years, growth measures their expectation to learn at the beginning of the year to their actual learning at the end of the school year. Readiness looks at several factors depending on the school level. Chronic absenteeism is measured at every level. For middle school students, participation in advanced coursework is also measured. High school includes measures for students graduating with additional time. Post-graduation experiences for high school students are also measured through the 3E framework. That's enrollment, employment, and enlistment. And graduation includes a cohort rate for high school students graduating with an advanced or standard high school diploma in 4 years. The school performance and support framework combines these component measures into a single weighted index. The index will be out of 100, with the weight of each component varying based on the school's grade level span. Indicators are used to determine the value of each component. These vary by school level. For elementary and middle schools, mastery includes performance on the reading, math, and science SOLs and VAP, as well as progress in English language proficiency, but the measures are weighted differently for each level. Growth includes expected growth for both reading and math, again with different weights for each level. And readiness, as noted earlier, includes chronic absenteeism and, for middle schools, advanced coursework. Middle school 5C performance is not included in this year's index, but will be included in the future. Therefore, this year's results at the middle school level will include only 2 indicators with a weight of 10%. And for high schools, Mastery also considers performance on the reading, math, and science SOLs and VAP, as well as progress in English language proficiency, again with different weighting. Readiness looks at chronic absenteeism, the 6-year extended graduation rate, that's with applied studies, and the Ready for Life 3E framework. And rather than growth, for high school, it measures graduation using the 4-year federal graduation indicator. Here again is the mastery component and the weighting for each grade span, elementary, middle, and high school. This is the growth component for elementary and middle school. And again, growth is measured for math and reading at these levels. And this slide shows the readiness component and the weighting for each grade span. So the previous system utilized the College Career and Civic Readiness Index. With that index, students were only awarded 1 point for a limited set of qualifying experiences. The 3E framework awards points across all 3 readiness indicators. While CPS has always sought ways to provide support for students to pursue a variety of possibilities in employment, enlistment, and/or enrollment to prepare them for post-secondary success, this new system of awarding across all 3 indicators provides schools with yet an additional incentive. Through the first readiness indicator, enrollment, students can earn 1.25 points for earning an associate's degree, 1 point for earning 3 or more credits, and receiving a college-ready score or grade through nationally recognized exams or through dual credit courses or an early college scholar certificate. Other grades or scores can provide a 1/2 or 3/4 point as well. Likewise, for employment, points are awarded for various experiences. Additionally, points are earned for different experiences related to enlistment based on a student's performance on the Armed Forces Qualification Test or their score on the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, also known as the ASVAB test. You can see 1 point for a score of 65 or higher, 0.75 for a score 50 to 64, and 0.5 for meeting the minimum score of 31. So mastery, readiness, and growth or graduation are combined to make the total framework score. This score is used to determine a school's performance category, and there are 4 categories. Distinguished, schools are exceeding the state's expectation for achievement, growth, graduation, and readiness. On track, schools are meeting the state's expectation for achievement, growth, graduation, and readiness. Off track, schools are not meeting the state's expectation for achievement, growth, graduation, and readiness. And then there's needs-intensive support. Schools are significantly not meeting the state's expectation for achievement, growth, graduation, and readiness. So where are we? Let's take a look at where we are currently, and that's based on preliminary data as of August 11th. So based on preliminary data, 20 of our 28 elementary schools are in the distinguished category and 8 are on track. The values took into account every available measure. However, it is not possible to yet determine the impact of the growth indicator until it is released by the state. This means that overall performance level is a best-case scenario, but it could possibly drop. At the worst case, this could mean a drop of 20 points for middle school and 25 points for elementary in the overall score, and that's if no growth is shown in any student. However, it is likely all schools will show some degree of growth. The drop could be significantly less and may not impact the performance level description earned. Currently, 6 of our 10 middle schools are in the distinguished category and 4 are on track. Again, this is based on current available data and is the best case scenario. Once growth is released, and the scenario could change. It could mean a drop of 20 points in the overall score if no growth is shown in any student. All high schools are currently in the distinguished category. Again, this is based on current available data and is the best case scenario. Once 3E results are released, the scenario could change. It could mean a drop of 25 points in the overall score if no student earns any points through the 3E framework. So what could change? So in addition to waiting for the growth and 3E measures, there are some other factors that could impact the scores. For high schools, the federal graduation indicator will impact the mastery index. EL proficiency will be combined with SOL scores, and the overall performance levels may change as subgroup tallies are not yet included. All of this information is based on the 24-25 school year data. The VDOE and State Board of Education are likely to make changes for next year, including a new growth measure and the inclusion of the 5C performance task. So as we await additional data, and as we prepare to launch the 25-26 school year, every department in the Division of Teaching and Learning and across our division continues to be committed to supporting all of our schools. And we're committed to our mission. That's the mission of our school division, to promote educational excellence by engaging all learners in meaningful and innovative learning experiences that empower them to successfully fulfill their life's purpose. And we will provide the board with updated accountability data when it becomes available. Thank you. Are there any questions?
I don't see any. Thank you, Dr. Joppy.
Thank you.
Next on the action agenda is the VSBA Annual Convention. Dr. Smith?
Thank you, Vice Chair Scott. Yes, I would like to share an opportunity with the board. The 2025 VSBA's annual convention is scheduled to occur in November, the 19th through the 21st in Williamsburg. Chair Swiger indicates that she would like to participate. Are there any other board members who would like to participate? Please raise your hand. I see Cologne, Huddle, Lamonia, McCormick, Scott. Well, okay, almost everybody. Gotcha. Sounds good. I will need a motion for approval.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Cologne. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McCormick? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, Dr. Smith?
Motion carries with all board members present, voting yes, and I think I have everybody on the list. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Moving on to the superintendent's report, Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Just a few announcements to share this evening. First of all, the Get on the Bus event. I was so excited to stop by the 2025 Get on the Bus event that was held recently at the Chesapeake Conference Center. I think all of Chesapeake came out for that event. We were happy to welcome over 3,000 attendees and feature every school, several CPS departments, and 38 community organizations offering vital back-to-school resources. Families who attended received services such as physicals, immunizations, free backpacks, and healthy meals. Thanks to the support of our schools, departments, and community partners. Thank you to all who helped make this event a success. I know our FACE team was very much involved in pulling this together, and all of our principals, as I said, were present. Summer school graduation, I saw plenty of smiling faces at summer school graduation couple weeks ago that was held at Oscar Smith High School. Congratulations to our summer graduates. We are also excited to welcome over 342 educators new to Chesapeake Public Schools on August 19th at Grassfield High School at our new educators breakfast. I hope several of you are able to join me that morning as we extend a warm welcome to our new employees. Excuse me, and we're going to hear from the famed educator, Michael Bonner, and it should be an exciting morning, so I hope many of you will be able to attend. Also would like to remind our parents that we're asking parents to log into Parent View as soon as possible to verify their child's information for the new school year. Through this process, parents and guardians can update their contact information and emergency pickup list, among other things. I always remind parents allergies and those kinds of things are so important to have updated in your child's record before the start of the school year. More information will be provided to our parents in the coming days. Madam Vice Chair and board members, this completes my announcements for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Cotton. Last on our agenda this evening is board member items. Does any board member have an item to bring before the board tonight? Well, seeing none, I declare this meeting adjourned.